Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. I'm Kalen here with Gamut, and in this video, I will be walking you through our latest product that got a massive overhaul, and that is our conversion LUTs specifically developed for vlog. So if you're filming on the Panasonic S1H or S1 or S5 or a similar camera that has the ability to film in the full vlog profile, then this is something you definitely will be interested in. Now, for those that have already downloaded our free conversion LUT in the past and curious how it compares to this brand new update, then this video will also help answer any questions you may have. So with that said, I'm really excited to share with you how this product performs in tons of different environments. So let's take a look. All right, here we are. I'm gonna show you a few different clips that I've highlighted here in the timeline, and this is gonna showcase the LUT. We're also gonna compare it against the previous free conversion LUT that we were giving away for a while, and why this one has a lot more advantage to the other one, and we're gonna look at some of the highlight retention and how it performs with shadows, but also a lot of the color tonality and skin tones, and we're gonna compare all that. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, here I'm using Final Cut Pro X. This is an adjustment layer where we've placed our Gamut Vlog conversion LUT in, and I haven't turned it on just yet, but you can also pick up our free adjustment layer on Gamut.io if you're interested. This will also all apply to Premiere as well. I'm not gonna be touching on anything that's different. You're just gonna use Lumetri in Premiere, Adobe Premiere, in order to load the LUT. And in this case, you will also load for Premiere, you would load it as a technical LUT, which will be in the basics category. It wouldn't be in the creative tab. So that's just the only difference. So let's go ahead and get started. This first clip, I'm going to go ahead and select here the Vlog LUT, and I'm just going to enable it. And instantly you can see the difference is astoundingly much better. So before is this image right here, and then after looks so much better. Now, if we compare it to the original one that was the free conversion LUT that we had online, this is the difference. So this one feels a lot more, feels more magenta. It feels a little bit cooler. Also, you can see that it's probably not taking into account a lot of the extra highlight information, which I will showcase on the next clip we're going to get to. But overall, you can see the color doesn't pop that much. It feels a little bit more faded, doesn't feel rich, and so the difference is very different in my opinion. We've really reworked this conversion LUT and works really well. So we get more color in the sky, and you can see the blues here and some magentas and greens. Skin tones pop really well. If we scan over to here, even this orange dress looks really good. So everything is just held together really well. So this was filmed on the Panasonic S1H, and I mean, you want the colors to look as you see them. So with this case, if you want to add more saturation or you want the image to pop even more, you could add a second LUT, which we have one called Gamut Boost, and all this is going to do is going to add some saturation, but also a little bit more retention in the highlights and kind of give you a really nice look that you can't really get with just some of your basic tools in Final Cut Pro X or Adobe Premiere. So if we just add Gamut Boost, here you can see what it does to the image. It saturates a lot of different things, and it gives us a really good base image, and it looks really clean. It's not over powerful. You can see the blues are right here. Everything's not spiked really poorly. It's really well held together in the saturation levels. We could also build on top of this. We built the conversion LUT so that you can use it with other LUT packs. So usually if you're getting a solid conversion where you're going to add some other LUTs, sometimes it might intensify skin tones or whatnot. But in this case, if we wanted to add, say, ADAGIO, here you can see this is with the brand new conversion LUT, which it really makes it shine so much. So before the conversion, after the conversion, if we compare it to the old conversion, you can see here we have a little bit of a different image. It's a little bit more washed out, a little more magenta. Here we're getting a lot of the richer colors with the new conversion LUT. And we can even build on top of this. We could add a second creative LUT. So Lotus 2 is another one we have. I mean, you could add Gamut Boost if you want everything to pop, but again, you need to dial it to taste. This looks pretty intense. But we've kind of built everything to be modular with these LUTs where you can add them. You don't want to push them too much, but for the most part, they are adaptable to all these different environments. So Gamut Boost here is at 2. I could probably take off Lotus 2. I mean, even with just Gamut Boost added to the conversion LUT, I get a great working image, but I can still get a solid grade using ADAGIO 2 and Gamut Vlog. So this image looks really good. The yellows are spot on, and the oranges pop really well. So let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to turn this off. Let's move on to the second image. This one, beautiful model, by the way. She's phenomenal. She's my wife. If we look at the highlights, this is what I want to showcase right here. Over here on these RGB parade, we're looking at all these scales from 0, pure black, to 100, which is pure white. Now, if you're going to turn off the V-Log conversion, which I did, you can see that this sun that is flaring behind Christine here is capped here at 88. So it is clipping at 88 IRE is roughly where the clipping point is when you're analyzing the footage in post. So with that information, you want to make sure that whenever you add a conversion LUT, that pushes to 100 so that you're taking full advantage of this color space. So now we're taking this log image and we're kind of pulling it into a Rec. 709 color space, which allows us to really see everything for display purposes. So here we now see the clipping point is at 100 and we're not losing information. Now, if we were to look at the original one, here we're going to look at it. You can see it was never reaching full 100. So we kind of reworked this out and made sure that everything was reaching the proper levels. So this little extra light here, we're getting more information in it. And the greens are richer. The skin tones are the color that they should be. I mean, if we compared this to, let's say, Panasonic, their LUTs, we can look at, say, let's look at the nicest 709. And here you can see we lost a little bit of information. It doesn't take advantage of all that highlights there. So it's kind of squishing it down to roughly 96. So we're getting more information, or we're getting better contrast levels with this new conversion LUT by being able to use all of that space, all of that data. And so here you can see this whole image is being used all the way to 100. The shadows are still held together really well. I mean, if we compared it also to the VariCam LUT, you can see here what it looks like. I mean, it blows it out. So this is from Panasonic that they recommend. And in my opinion, it does not do a very good job at converting V-Log to Rec. 709. So that's one thing I wanted to show you, is how it's controlling these highlights. You can see you're losing all that data and all that information because it's clipping it and pushing it beyond 100 IRE. Or here, you're getting all that information captured or showcased using the new Gamut V-Log conversion LUT. Now, if we're going to look at skin tones, this image right here, one of my favorite shots, this is beautiful where you're getting two different skin tones. You're getting highlights almost blown out on skin, and then also over here, but it's all held together really well so that when we add the Gamut V-Log correction, everything pops. Like, the skin looks so good. And again, if we were to compare this to Panasonic's nicest 709 LUT, you're going to get more of this reddish hue in skin tones, and you're not getting that full contrast of the shadows that nicest 709 is showcasing. It feels a little bit more milky. So in this case, I really like using this brand new V-Log conversion LUT from Gamut that we created, and you can see it holds together really, really well, and we could even add on other additional LUTs on top of it. And I mean, this image just pops. So that's ADAGIO 2 at 70%. I would probably bring things down to less than 50% sometimes to taste. So even 30% here, you can see before and after looks really good. So I think this holds together really well. And if we compare this to our original V-Log Gamut LUT here, you can see that it feels very less desaturated. We're not getting a lot of the contrast of the shadows. So we again prefer this brand new conversion LUT that we've created. That's much better. In this case here, we have another image where I'm going to turn off this conversion. You can see on this vector scope that we have all of this color, which was shot at Antelope Canyon, very warm and orange color. And you can see it's right on the skin tone line too. So it's just slightly more to the yellow side than the red side. But if we're to add a conversion here, this should show us whether skin tones are getting pushed yellow or pink. So in this case, when we add our conversion LUT, this is the color that it looked like whenever we were shooting this footage in Antelope Canyon. If we were to look at the original, You can see here it loses a lot of information in the shadows. The colors don't replicate very well, so we fine-tuned that as well. But again, if you compare this to the Panasonic LUTs, such as the 709 again, you're going to get more of a pink look. So it's definitely more pink compared to the warm one that we have. So if you look, let's look at this vector scope real quick, and let's look at Panasonic's LUT again. Let's do the VariCam one here. Look at it shift all the way to the red side. So it's taking skin tone and just really making it extreme pink and really red. So we wanted to see the image as it was filmed, and in this case, we made sure that this conversion LUT showcased skin tone the way it was filmed. Now we're moving on to a couple more last clips before we're done. And this is a event that had a lot of saturated colors, a lot of vibrancy. And in most cases, these colors are clipping. Their saturation levels are really intense. And we wanted to make sure that if you're using this LUT, it's not working in just interior. It's not just working in daylight. It's working also in these kind of situations. So we really honed in to make sure that it's working in these scenarios and environments as well. Here's the before, and then here's the after. I mean, it's much better. I mean, if we looked at the original one, let's look at this. That was our before one. This one doesn't look too bad in this environment. It actually looks kind of good. But in this case, this is taking into consideration. That's another thing. LUTs can look good in certain environments and then look really bad in another environment. Our goal with this conversion is to look good in almost every single type of environment that you throw at it. So that is what's unique about people saying, oh, I can make my own LUT, or I can create this LUT that looks good. Yeah, you can probably do that in certain environments, but to really replicate that across the board in a lot of different scenarios is really difficult to do. And we had a lot of testing footage to really work through to make sure that this worked in all those scenarios. So that is it. If we wanted to go ahead and compare that to Panasonic's, let's do nicest again, nicest 709. I mean, these reds here, you can see they're already clipping. They're past their gamut space here, and it's just really not looking pleasant at all. So, and it's shifting color. So this is exactly how it was filmed, and it looks the way it should. Now over here, let's go ahead and disable this log conversion, and let's look at the scopes. So over here on the RGB parade, you can see that we're already having this blue that's above the 88 IRE level, which we know is clipping for this camera and this profile. Now that means that this blue color was clipping. So the saturation is what's really intense in here. So what we'd want to do is we want to select this clip, and then go ahead and add a correction. So we're going to add in the color wheels and just take our saturation of just our highlights and just pull that down until it pops below that 88 IRE level. So now we know we're properly set so that if we add the conversion, bam, it looks the way it should, and everything looks great. We're maximizing all the color information there, and it holds together really well. Now, this is a really interesting tested shot because we had to work through to make sure all the colors transitioned properly. Because if you're taking this image from yellow to a hot pink to this blue, this is where LUTs start to fall apart. So this is where we could really do our test and make sure that everything held together really well. If we compared this to, let's say, the nicest 709 LUT from Panasonic, it pushes the blue color extreme. So the saturation is so intense on the blues in the nicest 709. So again, that LUT doesn't work in all environments. We wanted to make sure that our LUT does. So that's where we honed this in for this environment. And then also there's a lot of complaints sometimes that certain LUTs are converting more of the Panasonic color to the red color to the orange color. So we wanted to make sure that if we film something that's red, it in fact looks red. It doesn't look orangish red. So we have here a helicopter that was actually red, and this is the before conversion right here, and then after. And if we wanted to compare it to our original, you can see, okay, it was much less saturated. Also, you can see all this highlight information kind of looks like it's not really expanded all the way. But if we convert back to ours, we're getting all that data pretty much all the way to that information at that 100 IRE level. All that highlights is there. Now, obviously, it clipped. You can see that we have a hard line here, so we don't have all that information retained, but we're taking advantage of this, the dynamic range shot that has shadows and highlights, and this conversion LUT processes it really well. Well, that's it. That is the brand new Conversion LUT from Gamut that also comes with a .vlt file that you can load into your camera for real-time monitoring. Now you can go pick this up at our site at gamut.io, which we will link in the description below. We will also be adding support for Vlog-L and HLG shortly, which will be included in this pack. So that means if you purchase this collection now, you will also get future updates as well as any additional profile packs that get added to it. So thanks so much for tuning in. Feel free to join us on our Facebook group or Instagram and share with us the work that you are creating. We're here to help simplify your color grading process as you start grading with confidence, knowing that your footage will be optimized for whatever you throw at it. So thanks for subscribing. We hope to see you in the next video.